Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Sri Gyan Manjri Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, this is the second lecture for chapter number 12 of geography part. Name of the chapter is Minerals and Energy Resources. Let us take a quick recap of what we have learned in the previous lecture for this chapter. We learned that requirements of primitive men, they were quite limited. They had very few requirements. For example, they needed to cover themselves. For that, they used to hunt the animals, kill the animals, and use their hide to keep themselves warm. They needed some shelter when it is raining, snowing, in conditions where lots of wind is blowing or there's a cyclone storm. So they reached the caves and they saved themselves. So practically we can say that survival was their only requirement. They did not have much requirement, and wherever possible they used to make improvisation. For example, it was very hard to catch animals, so they simply made small weapons like spears and bow and arrow and all that, and they killed the animals, smaller and bigger ones. And for killing bigger animals they formed a group, because then other than that it was not possible to kill bigger animals for food. They used to hunt, they used to gather food, like fruits, leaves, roots, etc. Then fire came with their help. They started learning to protect themselves with the help of fire from the wild animals. And then came agriculture. This is where their requirements started enlarging, right? They became more and more, and they became demand of requirement went high, because now people were living in small families, in small groups. Now villages were formed because agriculture needs to be staying at one places. So from hunters and gatherers and roaming around in the wilderness, they started living at one place, either near the bank of the river where they get lots of water for their farming purpose. Now when they started building houses, then the requirement started increasing. So then men found minerals. We have evidence or proof of that from the Indus Valley civilization. Lots of tools, equipments, weapons were found which were made up of metal. There were lots of statues made up of metal. Coins were were existing and in use in those days. So lots of use of metal had started, but metal got extensive use during the after the ancient ages comes the second era, before we can say the modern age started. So whole of that age was called the Iron Age, where machines got invented, and now there was use of lots of iron. So mineral is a very natural resource. Mineral is a natural resource that we learned, and human evolution process is divided into various stages, such as Stone Age, when extensively everything was used exclusively made out of stone or bones. They made it sharp and made use of that. Maximum stone was used, and that is why it's known as Stone Age. Then came the Bronze Age. Copper was one of the first metal to be found by human beings, and by mixing copper and tin they got bronze, and bronze was used more by people, so it's called Bronze Age. Then came the Iron Age, as we just discussed. During the industrialization, iron had a huge demand all of a sudden, because now maximum machines were made up of iron. You want to make anything, but the machine will be made up of iron. Iron, because of its property of being strong, strong and durable, so iron is cheap also. We have learned that. The modern age that is today is called atomic age. So human evaluation is divided into lots of phases, various stages. Then we understood the definition of minerals. What is a mineral? It is found in the natural state and it will have a specific chemical composition. Minerals are made through abiotic process from the depth of the earth, that is core. All the minerals, they are available in molten state. From there they came out with the help of the eruption of lava spread around in the world, and we have lots of minerals present on the top crust of the earth. Then we classified the minerals. They are available in all the three states, that is solid, liquid and gases. We then further classified the minerals into metallic minerals, non-metallic minerals, and minerals that we use for or as energy resource. Then we learned about the metallic minerals, for example iron. We learned specifically, that's a complete 4-mark question, 3-mark question. Iron, yes, it's found in the form of ore. We have to dig out the ore and then put it in furnace, and at very high temperature it's mixed with coke and limestone, and because of the bursting of the coke and limestone present in it, it separates the iron from the impurities. The iron that we get from the furnace is called pig iron. Then we learnt about the different types of iron that are found in India. Then we learnt about the uses of iron, different uses of iron, the properties of iron. Then we learnt about the states that produce iron, right? So in the same way, when we are working with manganese, then manganese ore refinement process, then different types if available, then the different states that produce iron, and manganese and the different uses of manganese. Same way for copper core, the refinement process, the different states producing it, and what are the different uses of copper. Up till here we learn. So let us now go ahead with the, now we come to bauxite. Bauxite, the ore of aluminium is called bauxite. So we can say iron ore, but we cannot say aluminum ore, because aluminum ore is called bauxite. The ore from which aluminum is obtained is called bauxite. Bauxite is extracted from earth and is purified to obtain aluminum. So it's the same process. Aluminum is also available in an impure form as an ore form. That ore is called bauxite. It's in the ground, and we have to dig out the bauxite, that is the ore of aluminum, and we have to go through a refining process so that we can separate the impurities and the pure metal, that is aluminum. Now, why is it named bauxite? Why is the ore of aluminum named as bauxite? Because bauxite was first found at a place called Les Baux in 1921 in France, and so the name stuck, bauxite. Properties of bauxite or aluminum, or the uses. Bauxite is very light in weight. Compared to iron, it's quite light in weight, but it is very strong and it is durable also. One of the important properties of aluminum is it does not rust. Corrosion nahi hota, rusting nahi hota. So it is long lasting also, it's quite durable, and of course it's quite strong. Compared to iron, it's not that strong, but then it's strong. So bauxite, it's light in weight and yet very strong and durable. These are the three properties of bauxite. It's a good conductor of electricity. Iron is also a good conductor of electricity, but aluminum is still more better, good quality of electricity. That means good conductor of electricity means it allows very less resistance and allows electricity to flow inside it without any resistance. It is rust free. That means it does not rust, it does not corrode, and is easily ductile. Ductile means it can be turned easily into wires. Now, so we have learned 5 properties of aluminum. First thing, it is light in weight. Second thing, it is very strong. Third, it is durable. Fourth, it is a very good conductor of electricity. And 5, it is rust free. And the sixth one is ductile. These are the 6 properties of aluminum or oxide that you have to mention in your answer. These properties make it very useful metal. For example, earlier we discussed this when we were learning copper, that earlier copper wire were made, right? But as the demand of copper went up, the price of copper also went up, and it became non-commercial. Yes, it was. That means it became so costly that people were not able to use it. So copper wire got easily replaced with aluminum wire. Nowadays, the high tension wire that we have that allows electricity transportation, aluminum is used in it because aluminum is a very good conductor and it's cheap also. It is widely used. Now, what are the uses? First, manufacturing household utensils. In earlier days, when steel was not in that much use, steel utensils were not that much popular. Earlier, people used mostly utensils that were made of aluminum because it was quite cheap, and because of its property, it was very easy to make utensils out of it and use it. Next, first thing is manufacturing of household utensils. Second one is electric wires are made from aluminum. Third, gadgets can be made out of aluminum because aluminum is quite light in weight. To make colors, aluminum is used, and in shipbuilding too, because ship is made out of iron. Yes, but inside paneling and all the other construction work inside the ship can be made out of aluminum, thus reducing the weight there. So in shipbuilding, because of the lightweight, aluminum is used. Now comes the main important point, producing steel. Bauxite is obtained from Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Gujarat. These are the 5 important states that are the major producers of aluminum. Out of that, if Odisha's name comes first, that means Odisha is the largest producer, followed by Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Jharkhand. Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, you'll find nearly all the minerals. Apart from that, Odisha also, Maharashtra and Gujarat. These are the 5 main producers of aluminum. Bauxite is found in the Deccan Traps, which is a geological structure in the Deccan Plateau. Now, the southern peninsula, which is V-shaped, and on one side is Bay of Bengal, other side is Arabian Sea, and in the front is Indian Ocean. That we say triangle, that is southern India. It's the Deccan Plateau. That plateau is a little bit raised up, so we find minerals quite near to the surface of the earth. It is found in abundance in Ranchi, that is Jharkhand. As I say, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, these are the states that produce lots of minerals. Yes, numerous minerals they have under the ground. So it is found in abundance in Ranchi, that is the capital of Jharkhand. In Gujarat, please remember Jamnagar, Bhavnagar, Junagadh, Amreli, Surat, Sabarkantha district, all of them, they have lots of reserves of aluminum, and aluminum is made from. Next mineral is mica. India ranks first in the world in the production of mica. That is told to you in bold and capital in the very first line, so that you remember this thing. All over the world, for the production of mica, India stands at #1 position. So India ranks first in the world in production of mica. Now, why is mica so much important? Mica is fire resistant. That means it can be extensively used for firefighting equipments. and it's a bad conductor of electricity. It does not allow electricity to pass. So that makes mica of very much use in electrical and electronic components, gadgets everywhere. So in between two PCBs we can have a mica layer which will not allow the electricity path to flow into the other PCB. So it is used in making electrical goods such as electrical motors, dynamo, radio, telephone, cars, steamers, etc. And it's transparent also. Alright, so it's very easy to use and it can be folded also. Yes, so in that way, electrical and electronical parts, mica is used to separate the electric path from flowing from one part to another. So it is used in making electrical goods such as electrical motors which generate, dynamo is generating electric power for जो आपका DC current होता है cars वगैरह में, right? When the engine runs, it runs the dynamo also, and dynamo is used to give light in the dark and to give light in the inside of the car, etc. All the lighting is done by the dynamo, right? And it charges the battery also. So that way, in making those things, electric motors, dynamo, radio, telephone, cars, steamers, everywhere it's used. So that means it's quite in demand, and mica is India is the largest producer of mica and exporter also. Now producing states. Bihar comes at number 1, followed by Jharkhand, followed by Andhra Pradesh, followed by Rajasthan. These are the 4 major producers of mica in India. Mica is also found in more or less proportion in Karnataka, West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Compared to these states, mica found over here is in smaller quantity. India is a large producer of a type of mica called muscovite mica. Please remember this name. Muscovite mica is a type of mica that is usually found in India. Now next we come to is lead. L-E-A-D, lead. Yes, it's not lead, it's lead. Lead is what you use in your pencils. It's used in the glass also, right? So lead is obtained from the ore. So ore of lead is called galena. Lead is obtained from its ore called galena. Lead is soft, but in weight it's quite heavy. It is soft. Yes, you can see the softness of the lead in your pencil. Yes, you poke your nail inside. Yes, you can see a mark over there. So it's quite soft, but it's heavy in weight. It is used to make alloys. Lead can be mixed with lots of minerals to make alloys. Electric wires, for example, aluminium के साथ में lead mix होता है. So if you rub the wires with your fingers, then you'll find black material on your fingers, right? Black. So that is the presence of lead. So electric wires, color, extensively used, and lead is very harmful if taken inside, right? You people keep on chewing that pencil, and so it's used extensively in making colors, for making weapons as a part of. Then glass, rubber and storage battery, all of this you can see it's quite harmful if we take it inside. So lead is harmful for inside, so chewing your pencils. India produces lead in quite a large quantity. That means India is an exporter also. Even then, India is unable to meet demand, so India imports lead. So it is not everywhere that if we produce more, then we export also. Here it's the opposite. It will be opposite in one more mineral also. Yes, we produce sufficient, but then we have to import. So India produces lead in quite a large quantity, but then also according to the demand, yes, we are not able to meet the demand, so we have to import lead from outside. Producing states, Rajasthan is the largest producer of lead, followed by Andhra, followed by Tamil Nadu. These are the 3 states major producers of lead. Lead is also found in smaller quantity: West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, Maharashtra, Meghalaya and Sikkim. So these things are very, very important, because when map marking will come, you will have to mark where lead is available. So please, whenever we are learning one particular mineral, then you have to also remember the states producing it. Next we come to limestone, lead, limestone. These are all non-metallic minerals. Limestone is a sedimentary rock which mainly consists of calcium carbonate. Now rocks, they are of three types. Yes, that we have learned in the earlier standards. This is just a repetition or a revision. Now igneous rocks will be two types. Extrusive igneous rocks, the lava which comes out on the surface of the earth and cools down, forms a rock, that's called extrusive igneous rocks. Lava is not able to come out because a very big rock is not allowing that lava to come out, so the lava cools down somewhere below the crust of the earth and forms a rock. That's called intrusive igneous rocks. Most of the metallic minerals are found in the igneous rocks. Some of the non-metallic minerals, suppose diamonds, etc., they are diamond, marble, they are found in igneous rocks. Now sedimentary rocks. Erosion happens from one place and settles at another place, so that process keeps on continuing, and one place erosion of the upper layer keeps on happening, and that is deposited at another place. So layers and layers will be found, and because of the weight it keeps on going down and solidifies and as sedimentary rocks. So that is this. Sandstone is a sedimentary rock which mainly consists of, please understand, calcium carbonate. What are the uses? Yes, chuna. Limestone is largely used in producing cement. The largest use of limestone is for producing cement. Lime is also used for melting iron. We learned that during the process of making iron, that the iron ore is mixed with coke and lime and then put in the furnace. So because of the presence of heat, coal, it burns, and the limestone, both coke and limestone, it bursts, and that separates the iron from the impurities. So it is also extensively used in melting iron, in chemical industry also, because limestone is acidic in nature. So it is used in lots and lots of chemical processing units or industries. So chemical industries. It is also used for making soda ash, soap, colors, chemical building construction, chemicals, building construction, paper, and refining sugar. Refining sugar में उसको डाला नहीं जाता. Presence is there to soak the moisture from sugar. So in refining sugar, it is passed over the presence of limestone, so that it can soak away the moisture present in the sugar and make the sugar dry, right? So paper may be wahi kaam hai. Yes, because paper, we know, paper pulp is passed through rollers to make it flat, but then it is still wet. So presence of limestone is there, so that it soaks away the moisture and makes the paper dry. Producing states, lots and lots of states, they're producing limestone. Andhra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, all these 5 states put together, they produce 70%. So these are the major producing states. Which are they? Andhra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu. Together, these 5 states put up 70% of the limestone produced in India. Other states which produce the rest of the 30%, they are Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Himachal Pradesh, and other states also produce limestone in small and big quantity. In Gujarat. Now we come to Gujarat. Jamnagar, Kutch, Amreli, Kheda districts, they are the major lime producing regions of Gujarat. Yes, and as far as Gujarat is concerned, we can say that we dig up a little and we find limestone, right? We don't have to, with the help of 1 or 2 JCBs, we can just dig up the little part of ground on the top and we can find limestone. So limestone mining is quite popular in Jamnagar, Kutch, Amreli, Kheda district. Lots and lots of limestone quarries or mines are there. Limestone is also produced in many other districts of Gujarat, that is Banaskantha, Mehsana, Sabarkantha, Vadodara, Panchmahal, Bharuch, Narmada, Surat, Bhavnagar, Rajkot, all these, most of these districts, because we are sitting on a huge reserve of limestone, whole of Gujarat actually. The rocks, this is important. Now, especially in Jamnagar district, the rocks found in Jamnagar district of limestone, they have accuracy of, or they contain lime, that is 97% of that rock is lime pure, only 3% impurities is there. So the limestone that is produced in Jamnagar is of the highest quality. Yes. Next we come to minerals of energy resources. Classification of energy resource. Now these are just a play of words, otherwise most of these words mean the same. Now let us understand. Energy resource can be classified as conventional, that is commercial, and non-conventional, that is non-commercial. Yes. Now 3 or 4 names are there, all of them mean the same. Now we say coal, or we say, suppose, wind energy, or we can say hydel energy. Now coal has been used for the purpose of fire, that is heating purpose, cooking purpose, since time immemorial. So it is a conventional way of using. Conventional means it has been used since quite a long time, not convenient, it is conventional. That means people have been using this. For example, wood is conventional. That means since time immemorial people have been using wood for burning purpose. Same way coal, for energy purpose, people have been using it. But wind energy, hydel energy, we have it's in use since last few decades, so it's quite recent, and that is called non-conventional, because up till now it had not been used. These are recent developments, right? Hydel energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, all of them, they have been in use in the recent time, but this quite long back, right? Now coal is exhaustible also. Coal, whatever the earth has made for us, that is a certain reserve only. We use that, it is exhausted. So it is an exhaustive resource, whereas hydel, wind, all these energy, they are non-exhaustive resources of energy. So these are exhaustible, these are non-exhaustible. Meaning is the same. Yes. Now convention, okay, for example wood. Wood cannot be called commercial because we cannot have commercial use of wood as energy resource, right? We can burn coal to heat up the water and we can have steam energy. Yes, but so what happens if we use wood? Such a lot of wood is needed to to heat up the water and turn it into steam and then collect the steam to produce energy. So that will not be commercial. Yes, that will not be commercial. So this is non-commercial. Whereas this can be commercial. Out of this, wood can be non-commercial, but coal can be commercial because it is in use to produce, right? When no other thing was used, coal was used for commercial purposes to make electricity, that is thermal power. Government used to buy coal and then thermal stations used to use that coal in making or generating electricity. That is commercial use. So we have to understand these words. Yes, they're not quite difficult or they are not that much complicated, but then we have to understand that they mean one and the same. Yes, if one thing is exhaustive, then another thing will be non-exhaustive. If one is commercial, another can be non-commercial. For example, coal is commercial, but wood is non-commercial. You cannot use wood for burning purpose in quite a huge quantity. Yes, so energy resources can be classified as conventional, that is it can be commercial. Yes, for example, crude oil that we have, that is commercial. Yes, because we buy it from the petrol pumps and fill the petrol tanks of our vehicles and we run the vehicles on that petrol. So it is commercial because it can be bought and sold, and it's available in huge quantity that it can be bought and sold and people can use it as an energy resource. And there are non-commercial or non-commercial energy sources also. Now, which of them are commercial, which of them are non-commercial? Conventional energy means the same. You say conventional, you say commercial, it means the same. You say non-conventional, you say commercial, it means the same. Both the words are same. Yes. So now let us see what is conventional energy or what is commercial energy. Coal, commercial. Yes, it can be bought and sold and it can be used in producing energy, whether it is thermal or whether in the house we buy it and we burn to cook our food. That is commercial. Next, mineral oil, the crude oil or petroleum that we say, right? It is commercial also, it is conventional also. Next, natural gas, same. Conventional people have been using it since long time, and commercial also. Atomic minerals are for example uranium, thorium, which are radioactive and which can be used for making or generating electricity. We produce electricity by using uranium and thorium, the radioactive elements. They are called atomic minerals, are considered conventional, or they are called non-renewable, another new name that we get. Yes. So we have conventional, we have non-conventional. Conventional is equal to commercial. This is equal to non-commercial. This can be is equal to exhaustive also. This is non-exhaustive. This can be non-renewable. This can be renewable. Yes, we took the example of say coal. Here we took the example of tidal power. Tidal power is which we produce from water falling on the generator, right? So coal, it is conventional, It is commercial also, but it is exhaustive. Yes, when the reserves are over, when we have dug up all the coal, we do not have any more coal. Yes, so it is exhaustive also. It can exhaust. It is non-renewable. It has been made by Earth millions of years, billions of years ago, and now we cannot make it again, right? We human beings cannot make it again, right? But if we see the hydel power, it is non-conventional. It is in use in recent times. And it is commercial. Hydel power, it is commercial. Yes, so sometimes the names may interchange. It is non-exhaustive. It can never exhaust. For example, we make from electricity from waterfalls, or we make a dam and make the waterfall on the generators, right? So that is non-exhaustive. We can again and again have it. Next is it can be renewed. For example, when wind stops, then wind energy is not produced, but it can be renewed once the wind starts coming, but that cannot happen over here. Yes, coal can't be produced by the earth so fast. So they are all meaning the same, whether you say conventional or non-commercial or non-exhaustive or non-renewable. So all these 3-4 words, please keep in mind when we are learning energy resources. Coal, mineral oil, natural gas, atomic minerals, they are considered as conventional, that is they are commercial, or they are non-renewable, that means we cannot renew them, are even called commercial energy resources. Now first we learn about coal as an energy resource. Man has been using coal as an energy resource since ancient time, when they found coal and it burns very brightly and helps in burning and gives a lot of amount of heat. People found it, right? So coal has been found by people in the ancient ages, and since then people have been using coal. Formation of coal, this is a very important. If we are talking about coal as energy resource, this is a complete 4-mark question, right? So how is the coal formed? This you might have learnt in science and perhaps in geography also in the previous standards. Let us see the formation of them. Before crores of years, earth was covered with thick vegetation. Yes, we were not there. Dinosaurs were there. So we are talking about those times. So earth was fully covered with thick vegetation. Yes, and because of something that happened, all of a sudden that vegetation went under the ground at lots of places because of the tectonic movements. Yes, tectonic movements, the plates which are below the earth, because of which earthquake happens. We are talking about those tectonic plates. So these tectonic plates were moving and they were clashing against each other and going away from each other. So a gap happened and whole of the top portion went below and the sides got covered. So the tectonic movements of the earth buried this vegetation as it is in quite big clusters, lumps here and there all over the earth. Now that vegetation is organic. Slowly it got pressed by the soil and rock, that is it got covered. The tectonic movements of the earth buried the vegetation in the interior of the earth. Over thousands of years, due to heat coming from the bottom and pressure from the top interior portion of the earth, the trees containing carbon contents, because from trees we have wood burns because of the presence of carbon content, that we know when the wood burns it becomes black. So the trees containing carbon contents and some animals underwent combustion. Yes, that means the water parts evaporated because of the heat from below and they got pressed and formed this transformed the vegetation into coal. The period existing before 25 crore years, and it was known as Carboniferous period. This period existed 25 crore years before, and this period is known as Carboniferous period because this period was where the vegetation went under the ground and underwent combustion and turned into coal. Coal was formed during this Carboniferous period. Coal is found in regions of stratified rocks on the basis of carbon content. Now, different places, different vegetation is available, right? So, some may have more carbon content, some may have less carbon content. So, when we have coal today, that coal is divided according to the carbon content it has. More of carbon content, the coal is good. Less of carbon content, that means impurities and water and all that will be more in that. Yes, on the basis of carbon content, coal may be divided into 4 types. They are anthracite coal, bituminous coal, lignite coal and pit coal. Which are the 4 ones? I repeat, the 4 types of coal that are found are called anthracite coal, bituminous coal, lignite coal and pit coal. Uses. What are the uses of coal? Uses of coal increased tremendously after the invention of steam engine. This we have discussed earlier also. Yes, when the Iron Age started. Iron Age started because of the invention of the engines. Engines start with steam engine. When steam engine started, water was to be heated and steam was to be collected and compressed. Now that compressed steam has lots of power which can turn the wheels. So, use of coal increased tremendously after the invention of steam engine. Steam engine was used extensively at all places before it was replaced with electric engines, right? So, steam engines were used to run cars, steam engines were used to run ships, steam engines were used to run railway, steam engines were extensively used in industry to turn the wheels and make the machines work. So, tremendous increase in the demand of coal started after the invention of steam engine and after the industrial revolution. Whole of the industrial revolution is based on this, because engines now, engine whatever, but you need coal so that the machines can run. Means of transportation like railway, steamer. Steamer is that ship which uses coal to produce energy to turn the wheels and push the ship ahead. So steamer increased and were now very easy to use. With the invention of electricity, coal became an important mineral for producing thermal electricity. Now, electricity was found, and then now problem is how to generate electricity. So again, coal, uska demand aur बढ़ गया. Why? Because now coal is used to, that is in the thermal stations to produce electricity. Hard water is heated and the steam is collected, and electricity, that steam is used to turn the turbines, they are generators, right? So they generate electricity. Now, what are the different things that we get from coal? Byproducts, yes, of coal. Coal tar. Tar, जो डामर हम लगाते हैं रोड के ऊपर, that's called tar. That is called tar. Yes, उसको डामर बोलते हैं. Tar is डामर, right? That we get it from distillation process when we make petroleum, right? So that is more easier than this. But to make tar from coal, it can be made, but then it's not that much commercial. Ammonia gas is made out of coal. That is very, very important in chemical industry. Ammonia gas chahiye, right? So benzoyl, crude oil, they are all byproducts of coal. Crude oil can also be made from coal. Coal reserves in India, very, very important. Which are the coal reserves? Because once these reserves are over, India will have no more coal. Right now it has enough coal to last for quite a few decades. Now, Jharkhand, as we know, one of the largest producers of coal, followed by Orissa, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir. They are the major coal producing regions of India, because you got to mark them in the map. Coal is also produced in smaller quantities in Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Assam and Gujarat. These are the 4 other states that produce coal in small number or small quantity. Now Gujarat. When we come to Gujarat, coal fields are located in Kutch, Bharuch, Mehsana and Surat. Which type of coal is produced over here? For example, Bhavnagar also lignite coal. We have mining for lignite coal. Lignite coal is found in abundant quantity in Kutch, Bharuch, Mehsana, Bhavnagar and Surat. These are the 5 districts of Gujarat that produce the lignite type of coal. So students, we end today's lecture over here. Thank you students.